Will the home prices drop in 2024? That is the question. You'll definitely want to stick around and watch. This is Kasama Lee, your community realtor. So anytime I show up at different community events, seeing some people, the real estate question always comes up. How is the real estate market? How are things going? It just seems so wonky this year. Are those homes that we see up in the hill, in our area, are those homes selling? Are they just sitting on the market longer? And so on and so forth. If you find this type of content valuable, you'll want to hit subscribe and the notification bell so that you don't miss future videos and podcasts. And I appreciate your support in sharing the video content, commenting, liking, subscribing, as it helps the channel to continue to grow and get in front of more people to serve them. Thank you for doing that. Let's talk about the market. How is the market doing? So, I found that to be an interesting and a loaded question because we just finished the summer, right? Kids are back in school, most schools anyway. And it seemed like there was a pause, like a little hiatus of traffic, of people looking at homes. We held open houses and, we weren't getting a lot of foot traffic. And it's usually, the neighbors who are curious, they're not necessarily looking to sell or buy. They just want to see what their neighbor's home looks like. And that's not just in our market. We get into a forum of a lot of producing real estate agents, and we're hearing that to be a common theme, specifically in Northern California anyway. I know there are other areas in other states that their market is even slower than ours, in some places in Florida. But then there's some places in other markets where, the house doesn't stay on the shelf very long. And it's mainly because of the serious lack of inventory, lack of supply, right? So it's a law of supply and demand. So having said that, I'm going to share with you some statistics generated by Realtor.com, okay? And this is a nationwide statistic, so it's not necessarily specific to our area, which is in Northern California, in Napa and Solano County. It says that the number of homes actively for sale was notably higher compared with last year, growing by 36.6%, a ninth straight month of growth, and now sits as a post-pandemic high. So, we were in scarcity, right, during the pandemic. There weren't enough homes, and anything that came on the market would get scooped up, and people were submitting offers, waiving inspections, waiving appraisal, waiving all kinds of stuff because interest rates were really low. It's like 2.5% to 3%, and the demand was really high because the affordability is high. Speaking of affordability, you definitely want to watch my last video. It'll also be at the end of the video, at the end screen, to learn more about housing affordability. That's actually a critical and an important data if you're a seller or especially if you're a buyer. Now, homes spent 50 days on the market, the most for July since 2020. This is 5 days more than last year and 5 more days than last month. So what that means is, in real estate terminology, we call it days on the market, DOM. So when you're looking at a listing, you could be on Zillow or other third-party websites. It'll tell you how many days the property has been sitting on the market. It's interesting because it doesn't necessarily reflect the property itself. Sometimes it has to do with if there are other similar properties that are on the market competing, and if they have better upgrades, those other houses would get selected first. Sometimes it has to do with the property's specific things that cannot be changed, whether it's a floor plan, whether it's the location, whether it's, whatever it may be. Maybe the property needs a new roof, but it's not priced to compensate for that house that would need a new roof, which may be another $10,000, $15,000, $20,000, depending on the roof and the size of the house. So when you have things that I call specific deficiencies to the property, and I don't mean like there's something wrong with the property, it's just compared to other properties that's comparable, it may have some features that kind of become a barrier for people. Well, when that's the case, the property sits on the market longer. So the DOM, days on the market, could show 60 days, 90 days, 120 days. And it's important that if you're a buyer and you're talking to, and you've hired a real estate agent to represent you, you should have the real estate agent do some due diligence. Call the seller's agent and find out, what's behind why it has sat on the market for so long. Sometimes the property had been in escrow, and believe you and me, we have some failed escrows. In other words, the buyer couldn't secure the loan. Look like they could do it up front when there's something in the offer. Sometimes life events happen and the buyer could no longer secure that loan. So then they're no longer approved to purchase a house. So it falls out of escrow, property goes back on the market. So it starts accumulating number of days on the market. So that could be the case as well. So there's just a lot of things. My point is this. There are a lot of things that could be happening behind the scenes, and when you're looking online at the property, at the days on the market, you don't get the full story of what's going on. And that's why it's important to have a real estate agent representing you, because you don't have access to the information, the consumers. By the way, stay to the end of the video because I am going to run through market activities for you on our MLS. So I'm going to show you what's currently, how many properties are on the market in American Canyon, in Vallejo, in Fairfield, in Sassoon, and in Napa. I did this a little while ago, and it's, we got some great feedback on that. So I'm going to do that for you just to give you an idea that, you can have an idea of like the market activity of what's on the market. So I think that it's really important to stick with what the data is showing. Okay. The demand is actually greater now. And according to, many of these qualified sites like realtor.com, Keeping Current Matters, a lot of real estate resources where they're actually doing studies and researches on it, the demand has gone up because interest rates have come down. Did you know that interest rate came down? It went from 7.5 and right now we're around 6.5. I know that for us, we have sat down with about 3 buyers in the last 2 weeks. So buyers are back in and are looking at what they're able to afford. So we're having our buyer clients get pre-approval done right now with their respective lenders, especially for first-time buyers. There are just a lot of first-time home buyer assistance programs out there. You have to be qualified. A lot of times it's based on income and so on and so forth. So the lender you're working with, if you're a buyer, will be able to help see if they can map you with a program that would offer first-time home buyers assistance. So it could go towards your closing costs and so on and so forth. Let's talk about pricing a little bit. So we've seen some price adjustments. We call it price improvement. And a lot of times it's adjusting downwards. Sometimes we call it price cuts, right? To be blunt. According to realtor.com, the share of listings with price cuts has reached a 2-year high. So there have been more price reductions on properties on the market, increasing by 3.4 percentage points compared to last year to 18.9%. It is now also higher than the pre-pandemic levels. I think part of it that you're starting to see more price cuts or price adjustments, decreasing in prices, is because homes have sat on the market longer. And for many homeowners who are selling, there's a life event. There's a reason why they're selling, and they're up against their timeline, so they are more motivated. Motivation goes into the decision of where the property is priced. In real estate, this is how this works, okay? What is a good price? What is a good price to sell a home? There is a right price for every home. And that right price is determined by the market. And the right price is the price that the buyer is willing to pay and the seller is willing to buy. That is the right price for that property. So when you're talking to people, or when you're hearing, or when you get on Zillow and when you get on these different sites and it tells you how much your house is worth, the market value of your home is based on, a lot of it is what has recently been sold, based on the condition of your home, based on the desirability of the property, based on whether you're the only home that's on the market or there are other homes competing with you, a lot of reasons. And at the end of the day, our job when I work with the seller is to find that buyer who wants a house so badly that they're willing to maybe come up to the price that you are selling it for, or maybe they're gonna try their best, and then that's why we negotiate to find the price where it actually works for the buyer and for the seller. Because if it doesn't make sense for the seller, they're not gonna sell because they can't move. So there are all of these things that come into play. With that, is the market healthy? Is it heading downwards? I feel like the market is now looking healthier again because interest rates are lower, because there are more buyers engaging now on the market, and because recently there are more homes coming on the market since school started back. So I feel like the market is moving in the right direction again. So if you're thinking about selling, talk to your real estate agent. Get the market analysis done. And if you're looking to buy, get with the competent lender, mortgage specialist, and get yourself pre-approved so that you know what is the maximum purchase price that would make sense to you. Don't start looking at houses if you have not been pre-approved, because you would be doing yourself a disservice. Talk to your real estate agent and they can connect you with highly competent real estate agent. So let's keep going. I wish you the best of luck. Don't forget, stay on to see the several cities market activities that I'm gonna show you on the screen. Thanks for watching. Okay, so here's what's available on the market in American Canyon, okay? We have 9 residential homes. We have 1 for rent that is listed on the MLS, but there are other properties for rent as well. They're just not on the MLS. And we have mobile homes. We have 3 that are currently active. 1 just went into escrow. And we have 9 lands. Now this is the inventory in Vallejo. Vallejo is a much bigger city. So we have residential, we have 160 homes. That's a lot of homes, but it also includes what's coming soon, okay? In Vallejo, you see, 4 pages of what's available in all price ranges. So it's a great opportunity for a lot of first-time buyers to purchase in Vallejo, just because we have such a huge inventory. I think it's much bigger inventory than the last time I went through this. We have 7 mobile homes in Vallejo. We have 24 lands. We have 22 residential income, so it could be duplex, triplex, and look at all the different price range in Vallejo. And then we have commercial lease. These are like leasing office space or commercial space. Okay, now we're looking at Fairfield, okay? So if you look here, we have 143 residential properties on the market. This is Fairfield also including Cordelia, which is an area in Fairfield, right? And they're just different district within the city of Fairfield, okay? You also will see Green Valley, which is part of Fairfield, and you also see properties in Sassoon as well. Now we are looking at what's available in Napa, residential in Napa. This includes what's coming soon, which is not on the market yet, but these are coming on the market, okay? And you can kind of get an idea of different price ranges in Napa. We have 190, right? And average price point in Napa is higher. It's rare to see anything in even the 700,000. They're usually 800,000 plus. A lot of $1 million homes, several $1 million homes here. Okay, that's Napa, and we have 15 total of mobile homes. We have 8 of the residential incomes, commercial buildings, duplex, and 1 commercial lease property. And that's Napa for you. And that's it.